Hey everyone, welcome to Rob's Fitness channel, where I go through my somewhat unique ideas on exercise, particularly weight training and calisthenics / body weight style exercises. Of course, I keep most of the classic exercises in my routine, though sometimes I have my own take on how I do them. In my last full video, I went through one of the two chest workouts I like to do as part of my routine. Today, I want to go through the other chest workout. I alternate between these two workouts, always doing one and then the other the next time I train my chest. One thing I've changed recently in my training is to lighten the weight up a bit to get more reps on each set. This means that my heaviest sets are done for 7 or 8 reps on the major compound exercises as opposed to the 4 or 5 I was doing before. I feel like this helps me get and stay leaner, which is my goal these days, as opposed to trying to lift as heavy as possible like I used to. With that, let's get into the workout. The first exercise in this workout is the classic flat bench press. No frills here, just do the exercise with proper form, keeping the butt on the bench and the feet on the floor with the pecs popped out so the chest does most of the work instead of the secondary muscles of the shoulders and triceps. I will say, if possible, I would bench with just a very slight decline, even if it meant placing a plate flat on the floor with the end of the bench on top of it. Unfortunately, I just can't do that with all of the bolted down benches at the gyms I currently train at. For the bench press, I'll do a total of 4 working sets after a couple of warm up sets. I start out with a couple of sets of 7 or 8 reps, either with the same weight or a decrease of 5% in the weight I'm using from the first set to the second. I'll then drop the weight by 10% for the third set and another 10% for the last set to get more reps. Next up, I go to the incline dumbbell bench press for 3 sets. Once again, I'll start with the heaviest weights I'll use for a set of 8 to 10. On each subsequent set, I'll decrease the weight by 10 pounds per dumbbell. For example, my 3 sets may be done with 100 pounds, followed by a set with the 90s, and finishing off with a pair of the 80s. One unique thing I like to do is to wear wrist straps on incline dumbbell bench presses. I've come to like the enhanced grip I get from them while pressing the dumbbells. I will also, at times, change the angle of incline from set to set, starting with a low incline and increasing the angle until the last set is bordering on a shoulder press. For the most part, I do like to keep it at the classic 45-degree angle, though. At this point, I'll do some calisthenics body weight style work with the one holdover exercise from my other chest workout, that being the pseudo plunge push up. I like practicing this one, so I've made it part of both chest workouts for now. Keep the hands out at about a 45-degree angle, or even do them underhanded, maybe switching that up from workout to workout. At the top of the push up, protract the scapula to get even farther up before returning to the starting position. You can also try doing these with one leg up, so only one foot is touching the floor. The ultimate goal is to pull off a real planche push up, which looks like no joke. I'm only doing 1 or 2 sets of this exercise. The other body weight move I've been doing recently as part of this workout is the Bosu Bowl push up with the feet elevated. This emulates an incline press due to the angle of the body. I place the Bosu with the rounded side down and grip the sides of it when I get into position. Then I lower my upper chest all the way down to the platform side of the ball to get an excellent stretch. This is an exercise I like to continue after repping out to do a superset by either moving the bosu out of the way and pushing with my hands, or continue on the bosu with my feet on the floor. Using a pair of hexagonal dumbbells is a nice alternative to using a bosu ball when performing this exercise, as they will allow for the same type of stretch. Push-up handles can also be useful, but I feel they're usually kind of weak and I don't like using those. Now it's time to get into some isolation work for the pecs. For the most part, I prefer using cables to do this, but they aren't always available, so I'll go with machines if I have to. I'm only doing 1 set of each of these exercises, using high intensity techniques to get some extra work in. I like to do cable crossovers as part of this workout. I'm going for higher reps here, not a ton of weight, You should get a deep stretch at the top of the movement and control the weight angling downward in an arc-like motion until you are in a most muscular pose position. Keep the elbows very slightly bent and focus the resistance on the pecs, using them to arc the arms instead of pressing. On cable crossovers, I'll either do a drop set by decreasing the weight on each side after hitting failure, or have taken a short rest for 5 or 10 seconds and then continuing on with as many more reps as I can possibly do. I'll do another cable exercise to target the upper pecs, usually in the form of a seated cable incline fly. These are done like a reverse cable crossover, with the arms being arced upward and the pecs being flexed as you hold for a second at the top of each rep. Once again, I'll do a drop set or a rest pause set here, likely whatever one I didn't do on the previous exercise. To finish off this chest workout, I do dips targeting the pecs. Here I use a wide hand placement and angle the body so the chest does most of the work instead of the triceps. I may start with some very full reps, really trying to push up as far as possible, even protracting the scapula as I do in the pseudo plunge push-ups. Once I start fatiguing though, I'll just bang out as many reps as I can. Sometimes I'll just bang out reps for the whole set, which may end up being over 30 reps. This does the job for pumping up at the end of the workout. And that completes this chest workout. It has a nice variety without having a ton of sets. Now mind you, this is what I do after many years of heavy training. I have it tailored to my personal goals of staying lean and improving more on body weight exercises, which I do practice a little more beyond this workout. I still have to get my free weight fix though, even if I can't throw around what I used to. If you enjoyed my simple video, please like and subscribe as I'll continue putting out more content. Peace out.